In order to explain what heart management is, I'd like to start out with a question. Do you like how you feel most of the time? And by feeling, I'm talking about your emotions. Do you usually find that you are happy and understanding? Do you usually feel grateful and good and at peace? Or are you more often feeling mad and irritated and unhappy with what's going on and ungrateful? Do you find yourself feeling mean and selfish and even gleeful when bad things happen to other people? Most of us assume that we feel the way we feel because of what's happening to us, that the circumstances in our lives and the people that we're around cause us to feel the feelings that we're feeling. If we are around good circumstances and nice people, we feel happy and grateful and at peace. And if we are experiencing bad circumstances or if we're dealing with mean people, we're going to feel unhappy and hurt and angry and mistreated. But if that were true, you wouldn't know the people that you know and that I know that seem to be at peace, happy and grateful in spite of really hard circumstances and even when they're working with hard people. And we wouldn't know the people that we know who seem to never be happy in spite of how good their circumstances are, how nice people are treating them. I'm convinced that there's something that happens between what's happening around us and the feelings that we're experiencing. And we determine that. We drive the condition of our heart. And how we drive that not only changes our experiences, it creates the kind of person that we are. Now, I'm not saying that my goal is to help everybody be happy all the time. Life is going to bring each of us our share of heartaches and challenges and hard times. And I don't think we even want to be happy and cheerful all of the time. These hard experiences help us grow into the people that we are. They give us the ability to feel deeper and greater joy, to feel empathy for other people. And for me, when I look back through all of my life and I look back at the times that were the hardest, those are the experiences I treasure the most. They helped make me strong where I want to be strong. But what I'm talking about when I say the condition of our heart is something that goes deeper than what we say or do. I'm talking about our way of being. It's actually the way we see the world around us. When we are connected to life, when we're connected to reality and the people in our lives, we see people, as real as ourselves, with as much value and importance and feelings as ours, that they have reasons for what they're doing. They matter as much as we do. When we see through this way of being, we feel care and connection and gratitude and compassion and calm. When we stop seeing the world in this way, if we're disconnected to reality, if we're disconnected to people in our lives, and we stop seeing them as real and see them instead as objects, that they're a problem to us, or that they're irrelevant to us, or even that they are something that we can use to get what we want. If we stop seeing them as real people, we begin to feel blame and mistreated and angry and stressed and burdened. When we feel connected, we feel care, compassion. We're in a beautiful state. When we feel disconnected, we're going to be in a stressful state. And that's the thing that makes the difference between how we feel. It's not our circumstances. It's this state of being, this seeing truthfully or seeing blindly. And that concept is called self-deception. This is a concept that I was introduced to several decades ago. The work of C. Terry Warner, the legendary work of C. Terry Warner. Some of you may be familiar with Arbinger Institute and their book Leadership and Self-Deception. Has been around a while. Their newest book, The Outward Mindset. These concepts, they changed my life 30 years ago, and over the years I have collected some tools that I feel like have made all the difference to actually help me purposefully and consciously drive the condition of my heart. And so that's what heart management is I'm asking to let me share my toolbox with you. I'd like to share a model that helps us identify it and clarify the difference between the circumstances that we are in and what we're making them mean. To me, I feel like that's the very first step, to identify what our circumstances are, what the thoughts we're thinking, how we're feeling, and how that affects our way of being. Not just what we're doing, but how we're doing it, what we're communicating when we're doing that. I also would like to share with you the tool of watching our emotions. Our emotions, particularly those stressful, blaming emotions, are actually indicators of our way of being. I'd like to share with you how we start seeing people as problems and how we become disconnected. I'd like to share the slippery slope questionnaire, which the slippery slope is not a tool by any means. It's what slides us from a connected way of being into a disconnected way of being. However, it tends to run a very familiar course, and if we have a little questionnaire to help us uncover our blindness, it is so helpful to me to be able to see that and then be able to do the next question, the next tool that I have, which is inquiry. I'd like to share with you a skill of questioning our thoughts that will reawaken our truthful seeing. And as we ask ourselves turnarounds, we fill out a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Good things can happen, and we actually can find ourselves purposefully connecting again. I'd like to share with you a tool of hardwiring happiness, which is employing preventative habits, one in particular, that will help us rewire our negative tendencies. We so often, our brain, in fact, has tendencies that when we do it over and over again, it will do it without us even being conscious about it. And most of us have wired a negative bias where we will just Velcro onto our bad experiences and just bounce like Teflon off of our good experiences. And if we can just rewire that, and there's actually some tools to do that, it can change how we feel. Now, just a quick little question. If you think you don't have a wired negative bias, just ask yourself if thinking of someone that is important to you in your life, if you've had 10 interactions with them today, and 9 of them were good, and 1 of them was something negative that they said to you, or negative that happened, when you go to bed tonight, which one are you going to be thinking of? Now, if you said the negative one, then you will enjoy this video when I make it. I'd also like to share these same tools and how we can use them in our stress and worry management. How we can uncover how not seeing truthfully actually causes our worry, and we can turn that into peace. I'd like to share with you how we see ourselves untruthfully. More often do we actually blame ourselves and begin to see ourselves without compassion than we do other people. And I would actually do this sooner in my series of videos, except that we kind of have to practice on other people before we can practice on how we see ourselves. So I hope that this video will be helpful to you as well. And finally, and I shouldn't have shouldn't make this one last, except for I just love all the other ones too, but I'd like to share with you my anachronism for the physical choices that we make. Because our emotions, we think of them as part of our emotional, our spiritual well-being, but our brain is such a physical component of our lives, and it's physical hormones and that create some of our emotions, that this anachronism, this neuro, which is our nutrition and our exercise, unwinding, making sure we get the sleep and optimize our experiences. If we can do this, then it will help us actually feel better. So that is kind of what my heart management program is. And this, through the next few weeks, I'm hoping to create these videos to share more of what my tools are for purposely and conscientiously steering the condition of our heart. I believe that it makes all the difference in the experience, not just our experiences, but who we are. So I invite you to try my ride.